Okay, I promised, and before this day gets away from me, I am gonna start the new series, Reframe of the Week. I'm gonna center myself. It's like a shadow back there, also. Whatever. My name is Erica R. Meyer of ReframeItStoryMeditation.com. I help women entrepreneurs reduce stress through positive storytelling. If you are curious about Reframe It Story Meditation and what it could do to help you as a woman entrepreneur reduce stress, go to ReframeItStoryMeditation.com now. I can actually give you permission to bail on this video and go there. I'll put the link in the comments. But I used to have a thing called Life Annoyance of the Week. My whole thing is about Reframe It. Reframe It, if you're not familiar with that. It was the loss of my father to cancer back in 2015 that inspired curiosity about positive mindset and how that might affect the physical body. And through that experience, Reframe It the book was born, and Reframe It Story Meditation was born. And I used to have a thing called Life Annoyance of the Week, where I would talk about a life annoyance, which is kind of based off my book, that I experienced and how I reframed it that given week. We're gonna bring that back and we're gonna call it Reframe of the Week. And I want you to tell me how you would reframe the situation that I will talk about every week. I'm kind of interested in doing this on a semi bi-daily, does that make sense? On a daily-ish basis. I think it's kind of more interesting to have this more frequently than weekly, because we all have life annoyances we deal with every single day. But I'm just putting that out there now. Perhaps to hold myself accountable, because I haven't been coming at you guys enough. I was traveling a lot last week, which is why you didn't see much of anything from me last week. And there was one day last week that husband and I were in an airport and on an airplane collectively for about 16 hours. So most people, this was for a variety of reasons. We had to be at the airport super, super earlier than even earlier than we could even check in our bags. You don't need to know why. We had some delays, common, weather. But guys, let me tell you, applying the Reframe It principles to my life, which is basically instinctively reframing life annoyances, things that, typically can cause a lot of stress, anger, and frustration in our lives on a, consistent basis. Ever since I learned how to consistently reframe those things positive and just kind of turn to throw the stress of it out, the unnecessary stress, because we have a lot of things that are hardcore that we stress about or worry about or anxious about, but the little things like, broken phone screens and lost keys and things like that, those little stresses, you can reframe those things very quickly and very positively, instinctively when you practice it. And Lord, if it does not help you to have a much happier and much, more peaceful day to day. I'm living proof of that. 16 hours that we spent in the airport and airplane combined. I was having a ball. Who says that? My husband was a little bit stewy about it all. But I'm just like, have you learned nothing from me yet? But whatever. I'm prepared. I prepare myself for these airport delays, for these, times of travel that we're just long and drawn out sometimes. I spent the time reading a book. I spent the time listening to podcasts. I spent the time people watching, which I love to do. I spent the time watching the guys throw the baggage under the plane, kind of thing. Watching them, out the window kind of stuff. I mean, I was enjoyed having, snacks at my reach if I wanted one. There are so many ways. Instead of just sitting there pissed off because, we had delayed flights or because we had to wait before our flight was ready to go, I just enjoyed the time. I chose. It was a choice. It was a choice. When you start seeing like the red alerts on your, flight updates that said XYZ is delayed because of this, sometimes that sends people into a tailspin. And when we got to our destination back home, it took forever, it felt like, to get our bags because they didn't have an open carousel yet. And of course, some people were pissed about that too. I was just like, again, I always see delays as, a protection of some sort on the road, or even a connection to get me, perhaps meeting somebody that I may have not met otherwise. I always reframe delays like that so that I can just kind of slough them off and they don't bother me anymore. But so anyway, 16 hours. Yes, I was tired when I got home. Sure, of course I was. But all of that time spent in the travel, in all of the throes of all of that, I was just eating it up, living it up. I was prepared for it. Basically, reframing it in advance is one of the things that I used to teach in my online course. How would you reframe 16 collective hours in airports and airplanes? How does that work for you? I want to know. Let me tell you also, I am so grateful that we left the day that we did, because the following day, the weather in our connecting city was so bad that they were canceling flights left and right. And so I was just like, I will take a 16-hour airplane travel to be home when I wanted to be home, instead of, getting canceled flights and having to come home a little later, blah, blah, blah. I would still have reframed that situation, but I enjoyed being home better, right? How would you reframe that? I want to know. Okay. If you have any questions about Reframe It, the book, you can go to ericarmeyer.com. That website's a mess. I'm just letting you know. It's ugly. I haven't taken time recently to fix it up. Reframe It Story Meditation, my subscription service where I deliver a brand new unconventional story meditation to women entrepreneurs every Monday, where they're dropped in a brand new story in a brand new scene. It helps to give them a dose of positivity every week. We have so many negative things that come at us, news, alerts, and otherwise, that we need to be feeding our minds with some positivity. Story meditation does that. ReframeItStoryMeditation.com. In the meantime, you guys have an amazing weekend, and happy reframing. Bye, guys.